Well, a nice vintage piece of Royal Albert moss rose. We know this is vintage. I'm going to show you the China mark in a minute, but the moss rose pattern's been made by Royal Albert over a long period of time, and this one dates from the late 1940s, early 1950s. And we know that for two reasons. One, the shape of the platter. Later pieces were a different shape. They didn't have this rolling scalloped rim with the burnished gilt, and they had ribbed rims. So those were changes that Royal Albert made to moss rose in the later pattern. But also in the 1960s they introduced a fully colour pictorial China mark for moss rose along the lines of the whole family that they were producing there. So Old Country Roses, Moss Rose, all had that very characteristic modern China mark from the 1960s. This one hasn't. It's got an early mid-century bone china, England, 1940s, 1950s. So a rare piece of china. 15.5 inch lengthways, 12-inch wide, and in very good condition. There are a few little condition notes on this. There is a few little bits of knife marking on the glaze, but otherwise it's in really tip-top condition with very good retention of the transfer design, and the rims are all absolutely fine. So if you're a Royal Albert fan, and particularly a collector of moss rose, and you're looking for a really nice vintage piece as opposed to a modern 1970s, 80s or 90s platter to replace a breakage, then this is a fine piece and a good example for collectors of Royal Albert. It's available from the Vintage and Antiques website. The link will be in the description below to the website listing. Do have a browse through on the website on the moss rose china search phrase, and it should bring up all pieces of this particular design from Royal Albert we currently have on catalogue. Thanks very much for watching.